Our first speaker is Salvador Martinez. Salvador was born in Mexico City, Mexico. He arrived in Chicago in the Pilsen neighborhood and currently lives in Evergreen Park. He is the oldest of 4 boys and has 2 daughters of his own. So Salvador is doing his icebreaker speech for level 1 in Pathways, and the title is Took Me Long Enough. So let's welcome Salvador.
Hello. I don't think an hour has ever passed as fast as it just did. But anyways, so thank you, Toastmasters and guests. So yeah, I arrived here from Mexico City, Mexico. I was born there in the mid-'80s, let's say. I actually got here when I was about 6 years old, and we arrived in the Pilsen community. The way that I got here is I was actually dressed up like a girl, and that's how I arrived. So once I got here, I'm the oldest of 4 boys. I didn't really have anybody to look up to, I guess, at the time. First generation Mexican American. So, I mean, it was a little bit tough growing up. I didn't really, like I said, have anyone to look up to. I got in a lot of trouble in high school, especially. I think around that time, it was either between like gangs, and around that time, graffiti was getting very popular in Chicago and the south side of Chicago. I went to Curie High School. So I got into graffiti, and then with getting into graffiti, you obviously meet people that do bad things. So I got really into shoplifting. I was shoplifting because just the necessity, and obviously you want to be, you know, you're a kid, so you want to wear the best, nicest clothes at the time and stand out. And after high school, I started dating a girl that I met from a different high school through a mutual friend that was in a graffiti crew that I was in. And she got pregnant. So at that time, I remember that being first generation, in my family, I really thought growing up that working at a warehouse was going to be it. You know, all of my family members either worked at a factory or worked at a warehouse. And I thought that, I kind of thought that my life was going to be set. So once I got to maybe 17, 18 years old, if I got a job at a warehouse with my family, that I was going to be good. But I knew deep down I never really wanted to do that. I never wanted that to be, a goal of mine, regardless, of, I guess, what I had thought before. So that happened. Then afterwards, things didn't work out with this girl. We broke up. And I started working in sales. It was in a kiosk inside of a mall. But I remember, and I still to this day, I think I'm an introverted person. I just fake it till I make it. That's kind of my thing. But I remember it was a kiosk. It was all commission-based sales. And we had to greet people walking by, handing them a flyer or just trying to stop them. And I was super paranoid and super scared. I would stand in the corner of the kiosk and not want to talk to anybody. And it got to the point where, at this point, I think she was maybe like 7 or 8 months pregnant. It took one of my managers to come up to me and tell me, like, hey, you kind of got to do something, because if not, we're going to have to let you go. And I think out of that necessity, I kind of just, the next day I came in with a different state of mind and really just kind of stepped it up. And I kind of figured out sales, to be honest. And getting into sales opened up a whole, world of just different way to look at things. And in addition to that, just you surround yourself with other people that want to be successful, and everyone, like people like you guys. So I'm really glad that I got into that. Somehow I stumbled out, upon that. After that, because of all the stuff that I had done in the past, when I finally left that company, I actually had another roadblock that kind of came up where I wasn't passing any background checks. So for a couple of years, all that stuff that I was doing in the past that was getting me in trouble really kind of hindered my just progress and moving forward in life. So I did a couple of odd jobs. At some points, I had 3 jobs. I don't know how I managed to do it sometimes, but I did. I never wanted to be like a deadbeat dad or not be in my daughter's life. So once that happened, I guess while that was going on, I finally got to the point where I passed the background check. I actually, at that point, the next thing that was a problem for me was public speaking and just getting in front of people. And I think in sales, once you want to get to the big leagues in sales, you really have to be able to work a room and to present to a crowd of people. It's not just selling to one individual person. So around this time, it was the end of 2016. That's when I found out that I was having another baby with the girl I'm with now. And that just really motivated me because I don't ever want to get to the point where later in my life, I feel that I kind of accepted fear and let it stop me from seeing where I could ultimately get to. And just having a baby really motivated me to want to achieve more for myself, for her, and just be the best, I guess, Sal that I can be. So that's how I found out about Toastmasters. I started coming here, and to be honest, I remember the first time I came up here, I was super nervous. My heart was beating. Like, I checked my Fitbit afterwards, and it was like 150. It was like I ran 3 miles in like 2 minutes. But it's honestly been super helpful. Everyone here is awesome. I actually got the courage to leave the job that I was at because I really wanted out of retail, and I wanted to not come home at 10 o'clock at night. So now I am still in B2B sales, but now I have a more flexible schedule. I want to see my daughter grow up and have the time to be there for her. And then in addition to that, I just keep getting better at this and see where it takes me, to be honest. So that's a little bit about me. Some of it's personal, but I trust all you guys. Don't tell nobody. That's pretty much it. Thanks.